Javette Nixon is the founder of Point Global Marketing. That's a company that specializes in digital marketing. And he's also an author. And he's going to share about advertisement. What are some of the things you need to bear in mind? And the point of advertising taps into what we just addressed, is to find new audiences. So Javette, take it away. What do we need to bear in mind?
Firstly, Ruth, thank you for having me, and I'm very happy to be here and listening to some of the other experts on the panel. I want to take a step back before I go into advertising and talk a little bit about two things that were touched on, which is around marketing, but also around your brand. And for me, my work predominantly is around businesses. And for me, when it comes down to a book, I don't see it as something different. It's about marketing a product. And with every product that you're marketing, the first thing the experts will tell you is that it has to be positioned somewhere. And I think that's one of the things that Michael made a point about is just how do you find a target for what you're looking for. But from the other part is on the branding side. And for me, for every brand is really about a promise, an experience, an enduring asset. So if you think about a brand and a product that you're building in that way, you have to kind of step back and ask, why am I doing this? And for me, even in advertising, it starts there. It's looking at, yes, the brand that you're creating, but it starts with the why. Why am I doing this? For example, with my book, my work is with emerging businesses. And as a Jamaican person, it was important for me to articulate how I was able to establish a business. And that's why I wrote my book. For me, it's important to actually be clear as to why you're doing and why you're doing the work. And the money is never a good why. Because money is not, while everybody needs money, it doesn't stay with you long enough for you to stay with the process. And I think Ruth said it was a marathon. So I want to make those points before I even go into advertising. When you're looking at the why, there are other things that are a part of that process. You have to, if you have a why, and meaning you have an objective, then you have to ask, what is the tools that are available to me that fit in line with my objectives? What is the tools that I want to use? And those tools go directly to what marketers would call customer perceived value, right? So if you're trying to reach an audience, obviously you have to look at where is the target for this book that I'm trying, what I've written and I'm marketing, and what is the customer perceived value? What is the value to the people who you're trying to communicate this book to? Who will get most value from that? Whether it's marketing a book or any other product, that's kind of where you start in the advertising process. Because when you start there, then you start thinking about, where do I go to find these people? And the conversation with the people you're trying to address is a two-way conversation. And that's what advertising allows us in the modern era to do. It's to have a two-way conversation. It's not one person just speaking to an audience. It's a dialogue. And if you start looking at the process as a dialogue, what will happen is, as soon as you start providing your messaging through whatever social media or your website or other mechanism you're using, if you're also listening to your audience and getting customer perceived value from that audience, then you're able to better tailor your communication process and better tailor your advertising in that way. Let me again, I'll use my book as an example. So Ruth, who was very instrumental in my writing this book, will tell you that she would have said to me, I should do X or Y, and given me an advice. And because of what my objectives are, I may choose to do something else. I may choose to go in a different direction, because for me and who I want to impact, and I might decide to do something else. And for a book, I think it's the same way. It's really personal to the author. Some authors are very good at, they want to be out there all the time. Some people are more introspective. Some people, they want to take a longer gestation period with the process. So you have to kind of figure out your personality and how you'd want to market your book. Now, the other thing is that goes to is the brand awareness around your book. Brand awareness is a very difficult thing, even for businesses, but it becomes easier when you know how to find the people you're talking to and having that two-way conversation, because you get from them what is the exact customer perceived value they see in this work. What is the thing that is most valuable to them in this work? And if you are able to do that, what you're able to do is then build what marketers call brand equity. So if you have given something to your target audience or the people you're trying to serve, and they have seen that value in it, then you build equity with them, you build trust. And I say it all the time, it's easier for referral in any business is the biggest part of the business. So for me, one of the things that will always be important in book sales or in any business is for the person who has gotten value from that, going to their audience and saying, hey, I have gotten value from this. This work spoke to me in one way or another, and recommending that to a friend. That will have more legs than anything else. Now, as you are doing that, then you also want to extend the audience. So there's a joke that if you go to a Jamaican restaurant and the person serving you is nice to you, you should leave because the food is good. And it's kind of the same thing. The word of mouth and people getting value from a process is kind of the best advertising you can ever do. If your food is good, another analogy is that you never see a Chinese restaurant advertising. If your food is good, the word of mouth is the best advertising. So advertising starts with seeking out the target audience that you're trying to communicate to, finding the exact customer value or the perceived customer value that you're looking for, and then starting with those persons to have a two-way conversation, and then amplifying those conversations in your advertising process. I hope I'm being clear. So, for example, you wrote this, the person who asked the question about their book on poetry. Who are the readers of poetry? What is the type of poetry? Where is that audience? The first thing I would do is get as much knowledge around that community as possible. There's a community of people who love poetry. Where are those people? How can I reach those people? How can I talk to those people? How can I listen to what those people are saying even before I do any kind of promotional strategy to them? How can I be valuable to that community? How can I raise my perceived customer value in that community and learn from those people and contribute to that community? Then once you have done that, then you can amplify the things that are important to that community through advertising. You can amplify the things that that community wants, and give value to that, and get the word out through advertising. Now, for advertising, which is usually a paid process, the fact is most people start with a dozen messages. And that's the first thing that we do wrong when we're advertising. Whether it's a book or a product, most people don't care about the things that you're selling enough to listen to a laundry list of things. Give one message in a consistent way, which is why you first have to serve the community to understand what that core message is. One audience, one message. So that, because people are bombarded by information, processes, and all of that. So they don't have time to go through a lot of things. You need to hit it one message, one audience. So you have to understand the audience before you have that one message, right? Now, then you have to understand what the audience cares about. You have to understand, why are these people listening to poetry? Are they are they reading poetry as a therapeutic process? Are they reading poetry for entertainment? Are they reading poetry just for an intellectual exercise? Why are these people? You have to understand the audience. And then after you have done that, then you can come up with your one message. You can choose your platform that you want that message. So is your platform Facebook? Is your platform your own website? Is it Google Ads? What is your platform that you want to send that message, that one message that this audience cares about through? Then once you have got that one message out, you want to pay attention to the metrics that you're getting back. Are people clicking on this ad? How is the ad performing? If you have committed $10, $100 a month, are people actually paying attention to the ad? Are you getting the number of impressions that you like? So one of the things that people do in advertising is they do something called A/B testing. So they have two different versions of the ads. They have two different look and feel. They probably have, if your book, for example, if some people have different covers for different audience, if they're targeting different places in the world, how are the different covers doing? Does an ad that has a person do better than an ad that just has the book? And that is what is called A/B testing. So you want to run different versions of the ad and then see which one is getting the most response. And then you're going to strategically tweak that over time and optimize that over time, so that you actually are improving the ad that you're serving to the audience. And a number of these platforms actually give you the ability and suggestions around how to optimize the ad. And then also you want to look at what is the return on your investment. For example, a rule of thumb that I use when I advise people on advertising: if you're spending $100, you're going to get about 1,000, you should be able to get about 1,000 impressions for that $100. Of that 1,000 people that actually sees the ad, how much of them are actually actioning something? How much of them are actually clicking through to the process? So you have to actually monitor the ROI as well, and to see if you're actually getting the response that you're expecting to get. And if you're not getting that response, you have to again go back and do the A/B testing. You have to tweak and then reserve to the audience. But it starts with, first of all, understanding that you have to serve an audience. And it's a two-way conversation. It's not just I am an author and then because things don't work like that in the day and age that we live. People expect you to build a community. People expect that you need to serve that community and you need to transmit value to that community. And in order to transmit value to that community, you have to understand the community that you're trying to serve and really increase the perceived customer value that you're giving to that community. And then go into the advertising. And word of mouth is the best ad. If you are serving a community, the best thing that you can do is that the community says this is valuable work.
All right, don't go anywhere, Javette. We have some questions for you.